Hey, what's up guys? So I'm here at SEMA. I want to go ahead and share some of the coolest stuff that I found. Now for this video, I'm going to do it in two parts. For this video, the first part, we're going to focus on kind of the main players that I want to see. So Escort, Uniden, etc., a lot of the brands that we know. For the second part of the video, there's a ton of different companies here and a lot of them are doing some really interesting things. And so for the second video, we're just going to go over kind of like cool random stuff that I found here throughout the show. All right, so first starting off with Escort. So they've got a bunch of their radar detectors over here. Of course, they've got their new Max 360C Mark II like this. So this is their brand new one that just came out. And then of course, they've got their lineup of other detectors here as well. So Redline 360C, Max 3, dash cams like the M2, Max Cam, etc. So they've got their lineup as far as different radar detectors here. They've also got the Max CI 360 on display here, but not the IX CI. Something that I just found out actually is that the IX CI is being discontinued, and the Max CI 360C is going to be Escort's, well, now really only custom install detector, which personally I'm okay with because I think this is a much better choice. Now, originally I was planning on doing a dedicated video here at Escort, of course, kind of talking about the radar detectors, some of the updates to like Max 360C Mark II that could be coming, etc. I spent some time talking with Escort about that. But they're not quite ready to talk about that yet. They have been working on it, and so far stuff does sound encouraging. And so our current plan is actually maybe next week sometime, once they've got some more information to share, I'm actually going to be doing an online video chat with some of the folks here at Escort, kind of talking about some updates as far as things that they've been working on for their radar detectors. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. Then as far as Cobra, they've got a number of their dash cams here. So if we walk on over here, you're going to see they've got a number of their dash cams on display. So things like their top tier 4K model, and then some of the other ones as well. So like 2K, 1080p interior camera, basically just showing off their lineup of dash cams. Now, I'm not super into CB radios, but one of the cool new things here that they've got as far as CBs is this new 75 all-road. And kind of the two main things that I like about it. Number one, this thing is really tiny, kind of the main box, a lot smaller than you see with a lot of the typical units. Additionally, this one here, it can actually communicate wirelessly back to the kind of the control box, whatever it's called. And this is USB powered, so you can plug it directly into the box here for power or into like a different USB port in your car. Maybe hardwire that and put it somewhere else in the car. And then with this, it's going to wirelessly communicate over Bluetooth. Plus, it also supports the new FM as well that's coming out to CB for even better audio quality compared to the traditional AM radio. And then they've also got things like your jumpstart battery. So I actually use these all the time in my car, not this particular brand, but I carry these all the time. So if you got a dead battery, just plug it right up to your battery in your car, helps jumpstart it. And then they've also got these kind of bigger batteries. They use the same battery technologies like a dash cam battery pack, but they've got a ton of different ports that you can plug in here. So things like AC for your laptop, a bunch of different USB ports, USB-A and USB Type-C, cigarette lighter there, even an input for a solar panel and whatnot. So a bunch of other stuff in addition to just radar detectors and dash cams. Next, let's head on over to the Uniden booth here with the C8 Corvette in the booth. Now they've got their radar detectors on display here, their windshield mounts, but the big news is the introduction of the new R9 rather. This is going to be the custom installed radar detector. So you've got your two radar antennas right there for front and rear to give you the arrows, and then it's also going to be coming with Uniden's laser jamming system. So the radar part is going to be really similar to the R8 here, but the laser jammer, it's going to be all new, designed here from Uniden. Now, one quick thing that I wanted to mention is it turns out Wi-Fi is not going to be available here. Looks like Uniden did make a change on that pretty recently, but it is going to come with Bluetooth, a lot like the R8 and the R4. Something else I just found out is that the laser jamming system, when you buy the R9, is actually going to come with 6 heads. So you're going to be able to do 3 heads up front, and then the other 3 heads in the rear. Or if you wanted to mix and match and maybe do 4 in the front or 2 in the rear, you can certainly do that as well. Then moving on to Uniden's scanners and CBs, they've got a couple options here as well. And with some of these new CBs, they're also introducing the capability to have them communicate over FM as well, not just AM like before. Next, let's move on and take a look at dash cams. So starting with Nextbase, they're here as well. They've got some of the dash cams like the 622GW, which I've talked about in a recent video with like some of the license plate stuff, as well as their other lineup. One of the things that I haven't seen before is actually one of their fleet dash cams that looks like this. It's kind of designed to be contoured to the front of the car like that. So this has been out for a little while, but it's kind of something that I learned about. Nothing particularly new that they have here on the dash cam front, but they do have some games here like punching bag basically to see how strong you are. So one of the things they're doing to get, well, it's a good punch, just to get people kind of in the booth, in addition to like, cars or motorcycles that a lot of people do. So next up, we're here at the Thinkware booth. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the dash cam stuff that they have to share. So first, starting off, we've got the multiplexer box. So this is available now. This is one of the things that I really wanted to see. So this basically can hook up to a dash cam like this and turn it into a 5 dash cam setup. So maybe front, rear, left, right, interior. So if you want to get multiple angles, that is what this is going to be for. And then they've got basically their whole lineup of dash cams here, a bunch of different dash cams. Some are here. There's a bunch more over there as well. Now for this, in our video, we were actually doing some discussion on the Thinkware cloud. They're actually making some new apps. Well, there's now going to be 2 different apps, one to like configure the dash cams, and then a second one that's going to be doing all of the cloud stuff. And then if we float over here to the other side, one of the new things that they're introducing is a new battery pack. They had one before. It was kind of smaller than a lot of the other batteries that are out there, and it was less expensive, so it was kind of like, hey, you know, the affordable option. I don't know the pricing of this one off the top of my head, but this is actually going to be now larger than like your Blackview B124X or your Cell-Link Neo. It's 7,500 milliamp hours, so it's going to be the same capacity as the now discontinued Black Box My Car BI750. So if you're looking for a large battery pack with larger capacity than like the Cell-Link Neo or something, that's what this is going to be for. There's not going to be any add-on batteries available if you want to extend that to like double or triple the parking record time, but now Thinkware is going to have a big capacity battery to offer as well. Now, as far as some additional new dash cams, and also something that's not going to be covered in the main Thinkware video, they're actually working on a set of dash cams that are currently available overseas in Asia that are branded specifically for BMW and for Mini. So if you buy a car over there in a dealership, you can actually get one of these dash cams installed in your car. Doesn't look like they know anything right now as far as a North American release, and right now currently these are just available over in Asia. Now, something else pretty cool Thinkware is working on is a sunshade that can change like that. So if you want maybe to cut down on some sunlight in your car, instead of having like tint that's always dark, you can have it clear like this, and then electrically you can just change it to block some sunlight like that. So it's still going to let light in, but Thinkware is saying that it blocks about 86% of the heat coming in from the sun. Plus they're designing it to have it actually pre-cut for a variety of different cars like certain Teslas. And then as far as some of the other companies that we would normally expect to see that sometimes come to these shows, like Redenso, for example, they're not actually here at the show this year. I know a lot of you guys have been asking, where's Redenso? What's the story about Thea? Unfortunately, no updates yet as far as Thea stuff. They've kind of gone radio silent on that. Also, some of the other companies that are sometimes here, Whistler, they're not here this year. Valentine doesn't usually come to these shows. Same thing with things like Stinger. And then as far as dash cams, Blackview a lot of times comes. They're not here at SEMA this year, but they are going to be at CES coming up in January. I'm not going to be covering CES because I'm going on a family vacation, which should be nice. And then also VFO, they're not here at the show right now either, but they may have some new stuff to share as well coming up. So with that said, there's a ton of stuff here at the show, different dash cams, a lot of really interesting stuff actually. And so for part 2 of the video, I want to go ahead and share with you guys just some of the cool stuff that I've seen walking around the show here like this.